gonna make the fans that in the comment section that's saying that the Pistons don't need to make a trade. Therefore, it's part of me that agree with you, and I'm about to explain one part of that, and mainly in the video, and it's a part that don't agree with me. And I've talked about that before, where you have to forecast. You have to foresee. You know, and that's why a lot of people get in trouble in this economy, is because we don't foresee losing the job. We don't foresee saving our money. We don't foresee getting a hustle, starting a business, and having multiple streams of income in, right? You have to have foresight. But the small point I'm about to make to that is, before I get to the main point, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, is, you know, the Pistons got time. They're young. They're young. But to my other point, kind of countering that, is the window is now. The NBA can change like that. The window for the Pistons is now. So if I can improve my team and really take advantage of that window, and I can really attempt to get over that hump, and like I said, there's nothing extreme in my opinion. You know, adding a Monk, adding a Levine, that's not going to cost you much, just to see if you can get over that hump. You know, getting a little better at the 4 position if you can, shooting wise. You know, it doesn't have to be a Trey Murphy or Laurie Marketing, but nonetheless, right? My point to agree with y'all is what's going on in Atlanta. So if you don't know what's going on in Atlanta, the Trae Young trade, they traded Trae Young, I believe, for Corey Crisper. That'd have been a good pickup for the Pistons too, to be honest. He can shoot it. Crisper, and they traded CJ McCallum. I don't even think no draft picks was involved, right? Since McCallum has come, and I try to remember to put it on the screen, since CJ McCallum has come to the Atlanta Hawks, like, his usage has been the highest usage on the team. They've been losing. Jalen Johnson is a guy that was averaging 20, I think 23, almost 24, 10 plus rebounds and 8 assists. And since CJ McCollum got here, he's down to 12 points a game, and they're losing, right? And that's the fear that I don't know if y'all thought about that, but I think most of us knew that. That's the fear. The fear is if you bring somebody in and they mess up the chemistry. That's the fear. If you bring somebody else in and they mess the chemistry up, that's the fear. You don't want to break up the camaraderie that they already got. So when you bring in guys other than spot up shooters, they mess that chemistry up. Guys that need the ball in their hand. My thing about it is this. Yeah, McCollum is a ball dominant guy who loves to dribble the ball and find a shot. Sometimes he can catch and shoot, but he's one of those guys who's a more effective scorer with the ball in his hand. You know? Therefore, it takes the ball out of Jalen Johnson's hand. Okay? So that's messing them up. So for the Pistons, most people, you get Levine, he gonna do the same thing. But I think for the Pistons, the culture is so strong right now that I think you really just want Zach LaVine to come in and just show some effort like Duncan Robinson defensively. And you want him to come in and score the basketball and play within the offense. But also, I think there'll be times where he get comfortable enough to say, here, man, hey, man, it's your time to go. We struggling to get that bucket. It's your time. There's going to be times where, he going to get a shot within the offense. I think the Pistons culture is so strong. I think he'd fit right in. I think the Pistons got a lot of respect for a guy like LaVine. He torched us many times. And I just think they missing that primary scorer that can come in and just get them just score. That's what they missing. Somebody that can just come in and score. I think that's all they're missing. I mean, whether it's off the bench too, you know what I'm saying? Like a Malik Monk, I think that'll be less risk. Cost more, but I think Malik Monk will be a less risk because he can come off the bench. He gonna defend. You know what I'm saying? He's a good ball player. I think he'll fit right in with the Pistons. Young guy, bulldog mentality, can defend, can catch and shoot, can get his own shot. He would have no problem coming off the bench. He had no problem with starting. When you start adding the guys, let's just say a guy like Corey Crisper, a catch and shoot guy, you don't worry about it. You just want him to come in and give him a defensive effort. They can use another guy like that. A guy like Michael Porter Jr., that raised a red flag because he been going crazy shooting the ball, and really, I don't think he want to go back to second fiddle right before he get a contract. But I think in Detroit, he would be the primary scorer. I think Cade wants to just, wants to really just make the right play, kind of similar to LeBron. And I think he'd let Michael Porter do his thing. And when it's time to close out the game, it'd be like Jokic and Murray for them. Like I said, for LaVine, it'd be like LaVine and Cade. If they got marketing, it'd be marketing and Cade. So when you got an extra option where a team can't play 5-on-1, you know what I'm saying, to close the game, it's always a great option. When you got, you got Kobe and Shaq. You crash down too late on Kobe in the game, he dished that whole to Shaq. So they just missing that guy. And obviously, they can develop him. They can develop one of those guys. Karis LeVert might wake up. And I'm going to do a short about Karis LeVert. I seen somebody with a video about LeVert saying, why is LeVert getting so much PT? Oh, they just trying to get him in the rhythm. They trying to get him in the rhythm. That's it. They want to get him in the rhythm. But yeah, you risk the CJ McCollum factor. You risk that factor. Yeah, you risk that factor. Somebody coming in and messing up the flow of the game. I agree. And then they're having a hard time implementing Jay and Ivy into the offense. So, but I just think they, come playoff time, when you playing half-court basketball and Durant is taking a step, Duncan is giving them some space, they at bare minimum at least need another shooter out there. If you get a guy that can defend and shoot, that's perfectly fine. But, it's a risk getting a guy like LaVine. But I think, it's a risk getting a guy like Michael Porter Jr. and the green light that he got going on, especially in the starting lineup. But if you bring in guys like Monk here, like off the bench, or you bring in guys like, maybe you go get a Bojanovic, the one that's out there in the Clippers, the other one retired. Bring him off the bench. I don't think it's so much of a risk, to be honest. But just getting a proven professional scorer or professional shooter, I think that's what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. But come playoff time and, something happened and yeah, they do lose. Oh, if we had it, you could have got it. And also it's a market where it's a buyer's market. What's that? Same thing in the housing market. It's a buyer's market. It pretty much means that it's a buyer-friendly market. Like when the housing market is about to crash again, for those who don't know. So people are buying houses at high ARP rates, right? That's high interest rates. And people buying them at high rates. And when these crashes, they could have got them for probably half the rate. You could have got some of these houses for cheap during the pandemic. It was housing Southfield going for 20, 30 bands. So right now, the players that, some of these players, they trying to get rid of them. Whether it's Ja, whether it's LaMelo, whether it's maybe Paul George, Joel Embiid. I'm just throwing names out there. Michael Porter Jr., Kobe White, Lauri Markkanen. They trying to get rid of these guys. The Sacramento Kings whole roster, trying to get rid of them. Hey man, we just want cap relief, or man, we just want a pick or two. They trying to get rid of them. So that's all it is, man. All it is. So, but hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, wherever I'm at. Since the link tree is the first link in the description. Peace.